This podcast is sponsored by Intentional Living magazine, your ultimate guide created to help infuse purpose and passion into your everyday life. From expert features that provide valuable insights to thought-provoking content that sparks transformation, this magazine, an online platform, is a perfect source of inspiration for all of those of us who truly believe in the power of intentional choices.
So in this episode, we're going to talk about retreats.
Yeah.
Our retreats, the different types of retreats, who needs a retreat, who would benefit from retreat.
I need a bloody retreat.
I'm with you, kid.
Can we book one?
Enjoy. Hello, Claire. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm just making some notes for what we're going to talk about
She's
today.
always making notes. So today, can we just talk about retreats?
Yeah. Retreats.
It's one of the things that we have already done, and it's one of the things that we are bringing into 2024. And it's one of the things that we've both delivered in the past.
Mm-hmm. But what does it mean?
What does it mean? What does it say on your notebook?
Well, we've had loads of conversations around this before because there's quite a lot of definitions about retreats, and there's a lot of retreats out there. They seem to be like quite trendy. And retreat actually means an act of moving back or withdrawing. It could mean getting away from it all. It can be, I just want to be on my own and have some alone time to be able to relax and just be. So that's what the word retreat means. However, when we talk about retreats, we can see things, gatherings that are labelled as business retreats. So it allows business owners to take time out from the business to go and maybe work on their strategy for the business. So again, you're still taking time out from that every day and to retreat to look at maybe the plans or strategy. Then you've got retreats like your usual typical yoga, relaxation, meditation retreats. And they can either be where you just literally do yoga, breathwork, meditation, and then you have your own schedule on your own, and you can, you've got your own time to do your own things. Then you've got retreats that could be like girly days or girly weeks away, where there is elements of yoga with some good food, but then you've still got alcohol involved, a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of fizz. And then you've got the transformational retreats, which is typically the ones that we do. And we do the deep transformational work on those retreats, and we're planning on doing some this year, which we'll talk about in a minute. So we have done, obviously we do day retreats. When we do the day retreats, they are about exploring the person and exploring what they want, who they are, giving them a heightened level of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. But you're not going to change the world in a day. It's about them opening up and exploring that, isn't it? And then obviously the weeks away with us is when we'll go in and do the deep work. And there will be a whole range of things from breathwork, yoga, perception alchemy, some subconscious work, and the releasing and transmuting of energy, and the teachings on human design, and all of the other shizzle that we do. Aromatherapy, toxic loads, holding space, a safe space, and quiet space and silence, because again, you can have silent retreats where you literally just go and you don't speak and you just be and you'll meditate. So there's elements of all of that in our deep transformational retreats. And for me, this is like an open discussion on where do we, as coaches and facilitators, do we want to just go down the deep transformational space for retreats where the real change happens? Or are we okay with doing the day retreats and just maybe, because I saw someone, a really good entrepreneur, and she's doing really well. I don't perceive her as being highly stressed, or she might not need like transformation, but she just put a post on LinkedIn or Facebook to say, does anybody know of any retreats this year that I can go to? I don't want a transformational retreat. I just want to go and retreat and relax. And I thought, Right. Okay. That's interesting because we go deep, don't we? And do we want to do the surface stuff as a relaxation piece, or do we always want to go into the deep stuff?
I think for us, from a work point of view, so if I was going on a retreat to rest,
we need to go on a retreat, by the way.
To rest, right?
Yeah.
So I'd be happily to go on a retreat to rest, but when we go to deliver a retreat, our work is about creating transformation or supporting transformation, and therefore, it doesn't to just take people away to. God,
Rest.
you get bored out of your head to do that. It doesn't align with what we choose to do from a business point of view. So people would be investing a lot of money to come and sit in our company when we know that we can really help them. And so for me, then, no, it's the transformational stuff.
Okay.
What about you?
I love the transformational stuff. That's like the most exciting piece. And you know what? There's people out there that are not looking for transformation, that they're absolutely happy the way that they are. We could always, argue that there's always stuff to change, but some people are really satisfied in living in alignment with where they are and what they want to do and be, which is great. So maybe if they do want some rest, they can just go to a nice relaxing retreat and have some space to do their own stuff. But yeah, I get you. I love the transformational stuff. It changes everything because we're going into the fears, the motivations, the passions, their purpose, their beliefs, performance, all of that. Well, that deep stuff then helps them change their life and their performance in general in all aspects of their well-being and business and finances.
I think the powerful thing with that, and we've recently written an article for Intentional Living magazine on this subject.
We'll put the link in the show notes for this, actually.
Yeah, cool. So
I'm going to make a note.
The benefit of stepping out of life to retreat, to do this work, is a real gift to yourself, because it's one of those things that you will never, ever really get the time to do and implement by giving it an hour here or an hour there. So when we're talking about this environment, it sounds quite heavy, but it doesn't need to be heavy. It's not a heavy. Where we do our retreats are like beautiful places where there is relaxation and there is space to be.
And there's play.
And there's fun and there's laughter. But we're retreating out of normal life to give you the space to just allow yourself to think, be free without having to worry about somebody to look after, somebody to knock on the door, somebody to drop off at school. All of the obligations that we have here is literally to take you out of it, to give you the space and freedom to explore that.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be heavy and it doesn't have to be hard.
No.
But it's having that safe, beautiful, supportive space to be able to embrace those transformations.
Yeah. So let's talk about then what our retreats look like and typically who we have on them. So the first one that we ever did in November 2022, and we did it in a beautiful place.
Is it Nottinghamshire?
I think it was. It was gorgeous.
It was lovely, yeah.
And we had 5 women join us. We opened it up to high performers or busy people, didn't we? And we got women. It was just women who signed up. And that we were with them for like 50 hours, I think it was. It was over like a 2-day period. 2.5
days, wasn't it? But it was 50 hours of delivery.
We were with them the whole time. So, and it was amazing, the work that we did and the women that were on it. They were such a pleasure to work with. And there was a lot of exploration, transformations, realizations. And we are still in chats and in conversations with them women, and some of them have been clients of ours since, because that really opened them up to a new level of expansion and a new level of life, which was lovely. But we were absolutely knackered after it.
Oh my God.
It was so,
because we were holding space.
So the learnings that we took from that was we need to
Have a chef.
which we had a part-time, but
chef.
it was like, no, we need to have that host of facilitators for certain things, so that when we come to show up and do the work that we can do for transformation, that we've got that energy there and it's there all the time, because we did hold the space, but when they're gone, it was like, whoa, we got sick afterwards. So that was a learning for us, wasn't it? So this time round, we're making the retreats longer, so more than 2 days a week, preferably for the transformational retreats, really taking them not just out of their space, but taking them to a different country, typically. And then being able to have the space for themselves for relaxation, but then having space to do some of the transformational piece as well, and also be playful and discover new environments, so that they can then expand their life, their business, whatever it is that they want to change in a better facilitated way, so that we've got that energy to show up when we need to, but they've also got the space to digest it. And we've got chefs and other facilitators coming in. And one of the big things, I don't know whether we're going to say, but one of them is going to be about having someone who is a shamanic healer coming in to do psychedelics. So that will be really interesting in our next retreat towards the end of the year, and it's going to be in a beautiful place. I don't know, are we saying where it is, or are we just talking about retreats today? Because
just talking about retreats today.
Yeah, but the link will be in the show notes later.
The link might
maybe
be in the show, but we're not advertising it, are we? We're just...
Yeah, actually, I keep forgetting because I get that excited. So we've shared it with some people, and they're wanting to join us in September, because it's changed that many times, the date.
September.
And it's going to be an experience of really high quality accommodation, but high quality facilitation. It's everything. It's world class with the facilitators that we've got, and I cannot wait for it. And that's where we want to be with our retreats.
Yeah,
now.
But the day retreats. Okay, let's talk about the day retreats. So investing in working with us on a one-to-one basis is at a higher investment than working in a group environment. And so what we try to do, or what we do is create these retreat days, which are lower cost.
Gives them a taste.
And it gives them a taster for what we do. And it also gives them some time away with other people that feel exactly the same way that they do, where we can sit in a circle and share as well, and make them realise that they're not alone. And invariably then, once they've done that, if they want to pursue it further, then at least they've worked with us before. And they know kind of what to expect.
And again, it goes back to the other podcast that we did, is some people are not ready for that transformation. Some people will never be ready for a massive transformation. And they might just I go back to what Mark said to me the other day when I was asking him if he wanted to come on the men's circle, and he said, I don't need to find myself. I already know who I am. My point was to him to say, that's absolutely right for you. And you don't need to come on one of our retreats to come find yourself. It's about really just connecting to yourself again. So in a practical way of how he would hear it better is, it's about giving yourself that time to come out the head, come into the body. Let's rest. Let's get rid of the cortisol and adrenaline. And maybe you just might find something that crops up, because it usually does, doesn't it?
I'm smiling because we did a live, didn't we, with Mark, my Mark, the other
who's your
day,
husband?
my husband, the other day, and we were talking about dropping out of the head and into the body. And when I first said to him, feel your toes, and he went, well, what do you mean feel my toes? They're just stuck to the end of my feet. What are you going on about? He didn't get it. So actually, do you want to just share about what that means, dropping out of the head and into the body?
Because we are in our heads a lot, aren't we, with thoughts, and we think we've been conditioned or we've been programmed, trained to make decisions with the head, when it really, it's about, most of us, it's about stepping into the body and stepping into the gut and stepping into the feeling of things, because we are energetic human beings, and there's sometimes we can feel that a certain way something needs to change, or you might walk into a room and go, oh, this doesn't feel right, or you might walk into a room and go, oh, this feels great. Instead of using the head all the time, drop into the body and how something feels when you're talking to someone. Even if you're in your head all the time and you're overthinking about something that's gone wrong, or something that could possibly go wrong, or how bad you think you are, or your life sucks, it's like, okay, how can I come out of the head and notice how these thoughts are making me feel? And if you sit with your thoughts, which is why I love meditation so much, and you don't have to sit in meditation, but if you sit with your thoughts, so if you journal your thoughts and write them out, if you're sitting in nature and you're just noticing as you're walking along what's being said, stopping and then noticing how does that thought make you feel, and where in the body does that feeling come? And for some people it's in the body, for some people it's just outside the body, so it's so different for everyone.
And it's whilst it's normal, because society's evolved so quickly, but our physiology hasn't, that the whole concept is alien to a lot of people, because really we're heads with legs on.
Yeah.
In fact, we'd be all right with just legs and heads. And in our accreditation group, we've been doing some work with them about how does that feel in the body. And like a few of them are going, I'm really struggling with that.
And this is where the embodiment practices come in, isn't it? And we guide them into, okay, let's get back into the body, because the head and the body are not separate, the whole, but it's treated, even from a medical perspective, isn't it? From your story, what you were saying about your mum, is that the head and the body are treated as two separate things, when
the body's treated as a machine.
Yeah.
And then the psychological side is a completely different, it's madness.
So if we start to look at, that's what we do, and we start to look at the whole person and all elements of their being, which is the mental, emotional, physical, the environmental, the relationships, their finances, their career or business, it's all elements that make up that being and making them well or unwell.
Yeah.
And it's not just one thing.
Yeah, exactly. So just going back to our retreat in last November. Oh God, it was the November before now. That's mad. So what were some of the reasons that the people that came chose to come on? I'm just thinking back to them arriving, and I know one lady, she just knew that she wanted something else, and she wanted to look after herself better.
Yeah.
And be more.
There was one who was in physical pain with her back.
Yeah.
Then there was the one who came to me via LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And she said she'd been following us for a while, and she, as a CEO of a charity, or a leader of a charity, she was feeling the burnout. She was working a lot, and she was doing a lot of juggling, but then we found out that she was a projector. Yeah. And that her energy was not, she didn't have that energy all of the time. So,
and then there was a seasoned retreat goer with us. Again, she loved it. And there was another lady that she was in the process of transitioning from one career to something new. Uh-huh. So I guess where I was going with that was, what sort of people, what sort of reasons will people have to come on a transformative retreat?
And well, it's typically because they feel like they need the rest. They're feeling burnt out. Something's got to change.
Yeah.
They don't feel they're at full capacity. They still want to go hell for leather, and they feel like they can't. It could possibly be because hormones and hormonal health is not good. So again, they're feeling lost. They're feeling they've got brain fog. They just want to get even better. And it's questioning why do you want to get even better? What's the reasons for it? Are you seeking something outside yourself, or is this truly something that you want? What's the message behind the success?
Yeah. I think well-being as well, for illness is another one. And you used to talk about the lady with the sore back before, but like today again, I've seen another post of another lady online that said, don't take your health for granted. I've ended up back in A&E. We see so many of them. And for me, and the frustration for me is we've been talking about this for years, and they're in our world.
Why do you have to get to the hospital bed to realise it?
Yeah.
And this is like what happened to you,
Hello,
isn't it?
I was the same. But it's like, really, come on. These are the opportunities to step out and look at life, and look at how you're living life, how you can live life in a better way, more aligned way, so that you don't end up in hospital, so that you don't end up sick. And a retreat is also one of the places that you can find out that sort of knowledge and information.
For me, I think taking out at least a week, a year for yourself is ideal. But then having those practices in place so that you have like time in the day to retreat, half an hour here and there, and embedding them rituals or practices in you every day. Because maybe some people go, oh, I wish I had the luxury of getting away for a week. If you intentionally plan that, you can, and you will notice how much more you perform better for yourself and the people in your life. Because if you're constantly running on burnout, you're not serving anyone. You're probably shouting at the kids, you're shouting at your team, you're not as productive, the work that you're producing isn't as good because you're not giving yourself the space to rest and the space for the questions and the ideas to come in. So we know when people come to retreat with us that they'll go with plans or creating a plan of exploration and a framework, but something that they don't have to stick to or feel pressured to. But we have the check-ins with them afterwards as well, don't we? The coaching afterwards, because it's one of them. You go to a retreat and you're going to change the world. You feel great and the people that you're with, and then you leave and go, oh God, shit, I'm back in real life.
The washing piles there. And
the reports haven't been done. And it's so the support that we give is coaching and accountability after that. So,
but I think also we do bring the relaxation part as well. We do the meditation and the yoga, but it's not all about that.
Yeah.
It's all part and parcel of it.
And you know what? Yoga, as a yoga teacher, I'll always go on about how it changed my life 10 years ago when I was suffering from burnout and stuff going on. And that was a doorway for me to sit with myself, because I was constantly on that treadmill of just getting stuff done and people pleasing and all of this usual stuff that a lot of us do. And the power in the breath, and which is, again, pranayama, it's part of yoga, and the meditation, it really can open doors to the subconscious mind. Some people see it as a tool for exercise, great, because it is movement of the body, but it can open us up into so many different things, and it does put us into relaxation, and it does create space in the body. And then because it does that, we can then go in more, even deeper, to release some more of the
what would you say
energy that we hold. Go on.
What would you say to someone that said, I can't leave my family for a week, I feel guilty for leaving them? Or
what's the cost of that then? What's the cost of you not leaving your family for a week? Because what are you going to be like in a year's time?
And what,
or 6 months' time?
And the other question was, I can't afford to pay that for myself.
What's the cost that you can put on? What, again, it's about, well, this time next year, what will life look like if you don't do this?
Yeah.
This time in 6 months, what will life look like if you don't invest in this? What would life look like if you did invest in this?
Yeah.
And what is the cost of the problem in terms of relationships, money, performance, if you do invest in this?
All of those things. So if anyone was sitting on the fence about going on a retreat, what sort of questions would you ask them to make sure they're going on the right one?
ask them, we'll probably do a life audit. So
Gears of life, yeah.
Yeah, do the gears of life with them, to ask them to rate themselves in all areas of their life, to see where they are, and then go from there and question, okay, well, what would life look like if you were performing in this area of your life? What does success look like to you? Because success means different things to different people, doesn't it? And what have they got to lose? It's that whole, we all have different priorities about what we spend our money on. And that is everybody's decision to what they spend their money on. So, and there's some great stuff out there. I've seen some brilliant posts on social media about, you can spend £100 on a night out, or you could spend £100 on supplementation and or maybe natural products that will help your skin or whatever. Or you could spend 50 quid on a takeaway, or you can spend 50 quid on some natural organic food and make your own food. So it's all about choice.
Yeah, always. And perception.
And if people say, I can't afford it, well, how much do you actually spend on alcohol, drugs, clothes?
I think the other question isn't just I can't afford it. It's about how badly do you want to change?
How badly do you want it?
How badly do you want it?
Yeah. Well, that's what you asked our people on.
How badly do you want it?
Clinical trial.
Because if you want something badly enough, you'll do it.
You'll do it, yeah.
Yeah. And the only person that can make those decisions is you.
Yeah. It's just, if people could do it before they got to the burnout or to them getting to the hospital bed, that's the thing, isn't it?
So
some people are getting it now,
some are,
and some are not. And again, that goes back to the way you were when you were in your busyness and you were in your masculine and your busy businesswoman head, and people were saying to you, you need to slow down. What were you saying to them?
No. What do you know? Dear div. Like literally, honest to God, like seriously, so who's going to do it for me?
And that is the thing, because if I don't do it, who's going to do it?
Yeah.
And we still have that.
An element of that, yeah.
But it's the awareness behind it and to not keep doing it.
So again, the body connection that we talked about earlier about feeling into the body, your body is talking to you all of the time. So if things are hurting, if things are not working properly as they should or as they're meant to, your body's trying to tell you something. Metaphysics is at play, and the more you leave it, the more it's just going to compound.
Yeah.
And until it stops you in your tracks and you do end up sick, or you do end up not being able to work. And actually, when you can't work, and if you are working for yourself, that's really expensive because there's no one coming to take over from you. So all the work that you've done, let me tell you, I've been that person. It's not pretty. So making time for and investing in your wellness is so much better than having to fork out for your sickness. Like the cost of that is immeasurable.
Yeah, absolutely. And the stuff that we do in our retreats and the work that we do, we will look at all elements of the gears of life. So you will do the physical stuff, you'll move, we'll talk about embodiment, we'll do the mental stuff, the brain stuff, we'll do and then that will then affect the emotional stuff. We'll then talk about finances and business and career and how's that affecting you, because so many people are stressed about finances, about their business, and about not allowing anybody else to do some of the work because they're stuck in that control. If I don't do it, nobody's going to do it. Yeah. We'll look at their environment. We'll look at their home, the energy in the home, the car, the office space. Have they got a space where they can just be, the sacred space, which is an altar, which is what I've got in a home where I meditate, and I have like a place of stuff in that, and we could talk about that as a separate podcast. On that altar is photographs of family, my sound bowl, some like positive quotes, and my incense sticks and some of my oils. And then that each morning, that's my ritual of meditation and just changing my energy and having that sacred space. So that's your environment. What does your environment look like? Is it cluttered? Is it full of dirty stuff? honor yourself and clean it and tidy it and declutter that energy so you can free space up for yourself. And then looking at your relationships, who in your life lights you up and who in your life is draining you, and how can you help yourself with that, and how can you help those people and put boundaries in place. So it's all of those elements of life that you will look at, and a light will be shone on them. Because if you look at all of those elements, then we'll be more rounded in our view of the way we are in the world, and life is going to be and flow so much easier.
Yeah, exactly.
And I agree. Now that we're talking about this, I feel like I want to go on our retreat. Because we have yet
take me with you. Take me with you.
Yet to find one. We're still looking, aren't we? For us, because we've as we talk about, we've both got our own coach. We also coach each other. But what do we then do to look after ourselves? We've just had Lauren in, who's an amazing woman who holds hair retreats. She comes to us for hair help, and she's got other coaches as well. But we need to look for us for a retreat. So if anyone is hosting retreats, I think that mine's just going to be a relaxing one, to be honest.
I think mine will just be a flop and drop. Yeah.
But I'd love to go to one of our retreats.
I think, well, with the feedback from them has been...
Because when we're designing them, it's like, we need this.
Yeah. Can we just go on there and get people in? Anyway, so if there's any questions, or if you have got any feedback on retreats, or if you want to know anything about our retreats, then drop us a line.
Yeah.
Again, look after yourselves. Make sure that you're listening to your body. If your body's hurting or there's things not working right, then stop and think why. Because if you're not owning it, the only person that you're hiding it from is yourself. So again, that honest reflection is really helpful. And if you can't get that level of honest reflection at home, then get yourself onto a retreat where you're taken out of that space so that you can find the space and freedom to do that.
And if you're going to invest in one, make sure that you're going to get what you want from it, because as I said before, some people might want just a business retreat, and business retreat you can do all day, because again, it's strategy and it's planning and it's great. However, are you ready to perform, to execute that business strategy? Because typically you need to make sure that you're okay first, or really delve into why you've got this business plan going in the first place. So business retreats, check it out. That's what you want. Check out the coaches, check out the facilitators, make sure that you connect with them, check out testimonials and referrals. You've got your day retreats, which are great, which you might find locally. Obviously, if you're local to us in the Northwest, we're doing them in Liverpool and in Cheshire in the woods, which is beautiful space, which will probably be where we'll be doing all of them now from now on. And then you've got your transformational retreats. So decide what it is that you want. We're always happy to talk to people about what they want, and we'll let you know whether you're ready for one of ours or not, and then we can always signpost you somewhere else. But just if you're going to invest in a retreat, make sure that it's the right space for you.
For sure.
Do you know what I might do? And I'm going to challenge myself with this. And I was supposed to do this a few years ago. Go on a silent retreat.
I remember you going, and then you were sick. It was after your retreat.
It was after my retreat, and I was coughing, and I thought I'll probably get kicked out, because it was one of them where I was coughing all the time. And I was really apprehensive about going. So I don't know whether the cough was brought on because I was about that nervous of going. So I think I might challenge myself to a silent retreat and see if I can.
Good luck with that, kid.
Sit with myself.
Good luck with that. I like that.
Oh, so it is love and light from me.
And it's ta-ra from me.